Hi, my name is Ante, and today I'm going to show you how you can use Memgraph SQL2Graph agent. So, in order to follow this, ideally you have a Memgraph, Memgraph Lab, Docker, Python, UV, and MySQL. I know it's a lot of things, but basically the idea of SQL2Graph is to automatically remodel the relational data to the graph data and move the things to Memgraph. So there are a lot of intertwined components to do it, and that agent is able to automatically do it for you. So for Memgraph, you could go to cloud.memgraph.com, log in with your account, and create a new instance. Or you could run a Docker run command that will start the Docker instance in terminal. So I have Memgraph instance in this case already running, so it is here. I don't need to do that. The next is the Memgraph Lab. Basically, if you are not familiar, Memgraph Lab is a user interface. You can download the desktop application or pull it with from the Docker Hub. But basically, if you go to memgraph.com docs Memgraph Lab, you will find all the information there. So assuming you have a Docker or Python and MySQL in the background, so in my case, I have MySQL running, and it has this famous demo dataset called Sakila that we are going to try to move to Memgraph database. What you want to go to in order to follow this, and later if we change how these things will work, is if you go to memgraph.com docs AI ecosystem agents, you will find here a SQL2Graph agent that basically describe this. So it says it's an intelligent database migration agent that transforms relational database MySQL Postgres into a graph database using AI power analysis. So the goal for this video is essentially get the environment ready and set up it and run the migration. So what I did so far is if I go to the instructions and steps, I have cloned the repository. I have went to the SQL2Graph folder, and I have installed all the dependencies, so it's ready to run. What I also did is I have created an end file and defined what I want to migrate from, what is the data, from what database, and where is Memgraph. So I will show you this. So I have created this end file. I have said that I want to migrate from MySQL. I added the OpenAI key. I've said where Memgraph is, where MySQL is, and I'm basically ready to use this agent. By following the docs, you will pretty much be good. So I can run ov run main. Whoops. Now I'm into the selection mode. You can change these environment variables in order to influence this, but basically this gives you an opportunity to change this from the terminal. So just a bit of context, automatics means you automatically generate the whole graph model. You don't think about anything. Incremental means you are part of the participant. You're giving a feedback how the graph model should look like. So obviously we are generating a graph model from the relational model, and you can influence a whole that process. So let's, for the first try, just run automatic and deterministic and don't think about anything else. So boom, migration happened. So we pulled all the data from MySQL and moved the data to Memgraph, and here is the stats of the things that we did. So we processed in total 14 tables from that MySQL. So the Sakila dataset actually deals with the rental, a DVD rental or something like that. So we have like a store, a movie, an actor, language, inventory, rental, etc., payments, customers. And yeah, so this knowledge graph was created from the MySQL and automatically generated by SQL2Graph agent. So this happened in a few clicks. So now in order to retry this, I will first clear this Memgraph so that it's super clean. let's drop the whole graph. I'm going into this analytical mode because it's much faster to just drop the graph. So I will restart the process or restart the agent, but this time I'm going to use the incremental mode so that I can actually kind of participate in the process. So what's happening now, the agent wants to create actor node from the actor table, and it's proposing the following properties and following relations, and I can say I want to modify this, so I will say number 3, and I will say change the last update property to last updated. So basically I'm asking it to change the property name. So you can see that from the last update we got to the last updated property, and obviously I could change the actor label from actor to I don't know, person or something like that. So we can kind of influence how the graph model looks like via the natural language feedback. And now I have did this for the actor table, and now the next table is actor info, and the model is not proposing anything for this, which is okay, and I'm going to accept that. So I will now just kind of accept everything. So for example, now for address, these are the properties, and obviously those will be the properties in the nodes, but we are creating a bunch of relations between the address, so for the city, for the staff, for the customer. So I will just now go and accept everything and assume that everything is great. So I'm just accepting everything. I could kind of go over each table and kind of provide the feedback. And now in the end, I'm also asked, do I want to provide or kind of enter a refinement loop to change anything? So I can say, okay, I will change it. And so this is the whole graph model that is being presented. So nodes, 19 relationships in total, 42 indexes, and constraints. So I can kind of modify it. So let's say that I'll say drop all the constraints. He will figure out what I wanted to do basically. So I misspelled this, but it's a good example. So what will happen now is it deleted all the constraints. So in the current model we have 0 constraints, and validation is essentially kind of warning us that there are no constraints planned, but 32 exist in the source, which is okay. And we want to say that we are done, and we want to accept this model. So we want to accept the model with 0 constraints and with the following nodes and relationship. So notice once again we have last updated property there that we changed how we want it to be named. And I will say accept and continue, and now the migration is starting again and happening, and voila, we have again successfully migrated the data from the MySQL to Memgraph. So this is how the agent can be used. If you go to docs, there is a reference to this CLI reference that you can use to kind of see how you can change all the properties, how this agent interacts. But basically it can help you move the data between MySQL or Postgres to Memgraph quite quickly, and to have start playing with Memgraph. Yeah, that's about it.